5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's up, people? It's Alex back once again. This movie's solid for what I know. I didn't know a lot of the stuff in the series, though. So, in a lot of ways, I feel like this movie is made for people like me that had only really seen the original, maybe the second one. A lot of people say that because we already know what happened at the end of the second one, it makes this movie a lot less interesting. I didn't know what happened at the end of the second one, so that added to the intrigue of this movie. There's a few things I don't like about this movie. Starting with the teacher. I didn't feel like the teacher was incredibly well developed, but served important plot points. So it felt a little like it was just used to move the plot along, her whole arc that doesn't feel completed. She was a really cool character, though, that I felt like they could have done a bit more with. I like the way that her teaching style brought him into seeing the door from his past and painting it without even noticing. The way the painting slowly developed throughout the movie, I found interesting. Once he paints the messed up character that he ends up clearing up, and I guess it was his dad. I guess that maybe was the demon inside of his dad. That was kind of interesting. I do admit that the plot at the frat house seems a little extraneous. It does feel like the movie is building and building and building. And once we got about an hour in, maybe an hour, 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, we're pretty deep into this movie right now. They're probably going to start wrapping it up. So it felt like once they were getting to wrap it up, they did it at a bit of rapid speed, which a lot of people can say is a criticism. But for me, that hadn't seen the second movie, it felt like strongly furthering the base of the plot. And then once we got to the intense stuff, they kept the action going. And they didn't stop us for a lot of these basic things like seeing the dad going into the further, or all of the time the dad spent trying to find his son, or a slow methodical process of him being attacked by all the demons. I like that it kind of all explodes at once. There are some really solid jump scares in this movie. One a lot of people have talked about is the MRI. Another one is, for me personally, was when he was in the frat house, the dude popping up above the bed and puking on him. I thought that was a really cool jump scare that really got me. That's the one that got me to jump big time. But there's a lot of really cool jump scares in this movie. And it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like they're doing jump scares just to have jump scares. I thought that the way they used the guy who had puked and died at the party to tell him to close the door while also having the door open to the bathroom, so you think that's what it means at first. That was a really clever way to communicate what these humans in the other world were communicating to him. I thought that was really cool. I'm not sure if this boy that had died was actually in the other world or not. I'm not sure how that all worked. Something that is kind of weird about the movie is they have the dad saying, son, just go. The son's like, oh, we can hold the door together. But then the dad is like, just go. We can't. And you think the dad is just going to stay there and sacrifice himself. But then the door starts being busted open, which makes it so, oh, it seems like it's all going to be a failure and he's going to die for nothing. And then you see that the son is painting over the door. That is pretty cool, because I guess you could say that him viewing that door in the first place is what reopened it for the both of them, which was a pretty cool concept. And I love the theme of this movie of revisiting your trauma in a new light and facing it can help you get past it. Also, that some people, like the father and son, have to go through the really tough things to help everybody. There has to be people that do that. So I really loved the way the themes of this movie were handled. The costume design and the makeup on the evil characters was really solid. I love the production design, specifically when the son is trapped under the table of chairs in the red room. That red room was so cool. The music that they used. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Really awesome. I thought the acting overall was very well done. I loved his sidekick friend character. She was a very solid bit of comic relief, and it wouldn't have worked with a lesser actress. but she did an incredible job. Overall, I really liked this movie. I thought it was very strong, but again, I didn't finish Insidious 2. So that might be part of why I enjoyed so much. But I also, in general, really like that Insidious handles jump scares in a way that is exciting. I don't like jump scares generally, and I feel like a lot of horror fans don't, but the way Insidious does them, I love. And I love a good jump scare, I gotta be honest. So this movie kept me on the edge of my seat. I felt really engaged with the plot, and once we got to the third act, it felt very ramped up. Overall, I feel like this movie is incredibly well done for what it is, and again, this is coming from the perspective of somebody that didn't see all the way through the second one. In general, I would give it a solid 8.5. At lowest, I would give it a 7.5. At highest, 8.5. So we can meet in the middle at 8. I highly recommend you check this out. I haven't seen the rest of the franchise again, so I can't say if you've seen the rest of the franchise what you'll think of this, but it's a solid movie with a solid story, solid acting, good jump scares, good makeup effects, good production design. A couple of the problems I have are mainly with the plot, that the side characters didn't feel like they got a full arc, and the way that the friend is so chill about all this up to the point where it's kind of crazy is it's a little weird, but they also kind of make it work so it doesn't bother me too much. Other than that, it seems like they're setting up for a sequel when I feel like this was advertised as the last. Maybe it was just the last for this set of characters, which works for me. But anyways, thank you so much for stopping by. Highly recommend this. 8.0. Until next time, this is Alex signing off. Bye, everybody.
I feel like I'm getting closer to something, or something's getting closer to me.